Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today I was thinking about decluttering my fragrance collection. Yes, yet again. I usually go through my fragrance collection twice a year to declutter the fragrances that I don't want. And every time I try to approach the declutter in a new way. So I have already shared with you if I apply the KonMari method. And last time I categorized my fragrance collection and went through every category to see which fragrances maybe overlap or serves the same purpose, so I don't need both of them. And that was quite revealing. So I was thinking about a new method and then it hit me. I want to know which fragrances are the oldest in my collection. So they survived a lot of declutters. And actually I was quite surprised by the fragrances that are now for years and years in my collection, and they survive every single declutter. So I have 12 fragrances to go through with one honorable mention. But before going through them, if you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura, and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. I will also highly appreciate it if by the end of this video you found it helpful or you enjoyed it, to give me a thumb up. That will help me a lot. And without further ado, let's start. So let's start with the oldest one in my collection, and this is my first perfume I've ever owned. I already shared it a lot of times, and if you want to know my fragrance journey or my life in fragrances, I already did a video on that. So I will leave it linked down below and also in the eye up here. My first perfume is Coco Eau de Parfum from Chanel. I actually have the bottle. My first fragrance bottle still here. And this is my absolute favorite fragrance from Chanel. It's so gorgeous. Definitely reformulated, but it's still the best. It's an soft oriental fragrance. It has a lot of ambery notes and spices. It has cloves, which is for me like the most predominant note. Actually, from this fragrance, I thought that I love cloves in fragrances, but then I tried other fragrances with that note and I did not like them. So if you don't like cloves, don't be put off. Just a very classy, elegant gorgeousness. To me, this is one of the most beautiful fragrances ever created. So Coco Eau de Parfum from Chanel. Next fragrance was a gift from my husband, and it was actually a fragrance that I dreamt of. I really wanted it when I was in my early 20s. It was actually one of the first gifts that I got from my husband, and it is J'adore. Again, a reformulated fragrance. I didn't notice it, but I have here like the original one. And when I smelled the new one, like not the new one, but when I smelled the ones that are now available on the market, I noticed there is some differences. So I get it why now it's a little bit kind of generic. It's just beautiful, floral, a little bit fruity, classy fragrance. Just gorgeous. Even the new formulation is really nice. I have nothing to say about it or to complain about it. I actually have 3 flankers of this fragrance, so that means a lot. I don't know why people love to hate on it. It's just a beautiful everyday signature scent. Such a beautiful, versatile fragrance, and I still love it. It's not my favorite, I have to admit. So I don't know why people hate this fragrance. So maybe they associate it with a little bit of mature sense because when it was released, or maybe because it has a classiness to it. It's not very juvenile, but I find it actually suitable for any age. So J'adore from Dior. Next was actually a surprise for me because I don't wear this fragrance a lot. And it is another Chanel, Gabrielle the Essence. Now, I don't like the original one. I love the Essence one. And I bought this one when it was first released, and it survived every declutter. Although, as you can see, I don't use it much. But yeah, I love the scent, and I don't understand why I don't wear it. It has this vibe for me, so I have to be in a special mood when I wear it. So I usually wear it maybe 3-4 times a year, but still I love it. And every time I spray it, I say to myself, why don't I use this fragrance more often? Because it's just gorgeous. It's fruity. Again, it's fruity and clean and floral and fun. This is the only fragrance that I would recommend for younger generation if we exclude the Chance line from Chanel, because it has a little fruity, it's a little bit fun, it's a very easygoing, classy signature scent fragrance. You can wear this actually all year round. Actually, springtime. I always use this one springtime. I don't know why, but yeah, I just do. Definitely a fragrance that should be talked about much more, and I should use it more often, I'd say. Number 4. My oldest perfumes is actually also a surprise for me, because I have it now for a long time, but I did not know that this is actually from all my fragrance collection, number 4, and it is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. Yeah, another example of a fragrance that is released a long time ago, that is very, very youthful and beautiful. This is a staple for me during summertime, and a fragrance that I would recommend actually for younger generation if they are looking for something a little bit sporty, a little bit, you know, summery, uplifting. I always say go for a Light Blue Intense. It's so beautiful. It's musky, it's floral, it smells like the bottle, a little bit blue. It gives me this aquatic feeling, although there is no aquatic notes here. And I love the line. I am biased because I love this line so much. But if I have to choose my favorite one, it will be the Intense and also the Flankers that came out this year. I have a full review on it. If you are interested, you will find everything in the description down below. So a beautiful staple for summer, and there's no doubt about it that this fragrance I would repurchase in a heartbeat once it's finished. Definitely a lifer for me. Number 5, I was shocked because I thought it was older than Light Blue Intense, but it's not. So I have here Valentino Born in Roma. I got this one also once it was released. And again, a fragrance that I don't wear enough. I mean, till now, except of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense, all these fragrances I don't wear much. This one, it's just for me like date night during autumn, maybe early spring. So I don't use it a lot because, as I said, I use it for very, very specific occasions. And when I use it, I always get complimented. And I don't mean by my husband, I mean strangers and friends always compliment me on this fragrance. It's definitely one of my most complimented fragrances. And although it's not my vibe at all, it's a very sweet vanilla, blackcurrant, jasmine fragrance. But I don't know, the sweetness here, the whole composition of this fragrance is so beautiful, and I love it. I do prefer to the new version, Le Parfum, which I did also. Did I do a review on that one? No, I did not, because I got it quite late. So I did not do a review on it, but I like this one more because it's a little bit fresher, it's a little bit airier than Le Parfum, which is more vanillic than what I can tolerate. So I love this fragrance, especially for date nights. Would I repurchase it? I don't know. So I definitely love this fragrance for date night and has a great longevity and sillage. Next fragrance was also a fragrance that I thought that I have much longer than I did. And it's the most repurchased perfume in my collection. And it's very, very cheap, Desigual Fresh. I used to go through this like crazy because it was my go-to after the shower scent. It's a very fresh, fruity, floral fragrance. It's more fruity than floral, but still it's very fresh as the name, and I used to love to wear this after the shower. And also when I wanted to feel a little bit uplifted, you know, I used to use this fragrance, but I did not have like a big collection of fragrances at the time. Now I have this bottle now for quite a while, for maybe 2 years, and there is not much of a dent in this fragrance. I usually go through fragrances that I use after the shower like crazy. So yeah, it's not my favorite anymore, but I think I am holding on this fragrance for sentimental reasons. When I smell it, it brings me back to a specific period of my life. And I think I would repurchase once I finish this bottle because it's just a very happy fragrance for me for some reason. So yeah, fresh Desigual doesn't have a good performance at all, which is why I love it for after the shower. I love to put a perfume after the shower that is very short-lived and is on the affordable side, and that checks it for me. Next, I have my first niche perfume, and it is Acqua di Parma. The first one I got was Mirto di Panarea, but a few months after I got Arancia di Capri because I fall in love with the scent. Again, nowadays I am not using these fragrances much. I don't know why. Are definitely for those who love fresh, natural smelling perfumes. So it's not for everybody. Acqua di Parma has this very simple, chic aesthetic, old money aesthetic, if you know. And Blue Mediterraneo line is all about natural ingredients that you can find on the Italian coast. So it's not a surprise that these are very, very natural smelling perfumes, and I love them for that. I love it, love it, love it. This year I did not use them much, any of these actually, not even the Fico di Amalfi. No, I did use that one once, but I don't know. This year actually was a little bit weird for me. I did not reach for my usual fragrances in a way. It was actually kind of a weird year for me in general, but that doesn't mean that I would declutter these or I would not repurchase them in a heartbeat once they are finished. Mirto di Panarea is just this sharp aromatic fragrance. It has myrtle as the main ingredient, so it's like a really sharp punch in the face when you first spray it. So beautiful for summer again. Yeah, it just refreshes me. Definitely a little bit leaning masculine, while Arancia di Capri is definitely right in the middle, unisex, has oranges as its main component or main note, and it's again a very, very fresh, juicy orange fragrance. I love it so much. Would never think about decluttering this fragrance ever. But yeah, my first niche fragrance. Another surprise for me was Michael Kohl's Wanderlust. Yeah, I mean, didn't use a lot of this fragrance, but I have almost all the flankers, and I use the flankers more than the original one because the original one has a little bit of a sweet vanilla woody touch that is a little bit too much for summer and spring. I mainly use this one early spring when it's not too hot, and also during autumn when I want something floral, jasmine. Main note here is jasmine, and it's one of my favorite jasmine fragrances. I don't see anyone talk about this line, and I don't know why, because it's gorgeous. The whole line. I have this one, I have the Eau Voyage, I have the Eau Fraiche, and all of them are stunning. Love this line, love this DNA. If you love jasmine, you want a little bit of this seductive, sweet vanilla, but not too much, Wanderlust is perfect for that and has very good performance, the original one. The other two, not so much. Next was a fragrance that was on my top 10 for life for quite a while. And it is Ver Malachite from Giorgio Armani. This, I think, was at the time the most expensive perfume in my collection. And man, this is good. Really, really good. This is a creamy vanilla forward jasmine fragrance. It has a lot of benzoin and vanilla, so it's very sweet, but in a creamy way. It's like a bubblegummy jasmine in a way. Very similar to Tuberose Imperial from BDK, if you know that fragrance, but while that one is tuberose, this one is jasmine. It's so, so beautiful. And again, also it's very sweet, but I fell in love with this fragrance and I've saved money to get it because I was dreaming of it. I had a little sample which I used sparingly, and I used to sniff on it and dreamt about getting this fragrance in my collection. Now I have to admit it's not like a lifer for me, not like in my top 10 for life for sure, but it's still one of the most beautiful jasmine fragrances that I have in my collection. And I love jasmine, and I have a lot of jasmine fragrances. Definitely a winter fragrance. This is too sweet and creamy and dense for summer. So if I want to have something floral in the very cold winter days, this is the one I go for. Next one I thought was older than Vert Malakit, and that I had this one much longer, but it's not. So next is Jasmines Maripan from Lancôme. I think I got them both in the same year, but Vert Malakit was my first purchase. And this is such a beautiful jasmine fragrance. Again, was in my top 10 for life. How many times did I rave about this fragrance? I can't even count. And it's a very strong jasmine fragrance. Not an indolic jasmine by any means, but it's very strong, very projecting and loud jasmine fragrance. And this is why I don't use it much. I don't like very loud fragrances in general. I want something a little bit softer, airier. But sometimes if I want a floral fragrance for a date night, or sometimes even during winter when I am dressed in a certain way and I have almost like a special occasion, sometimes I go for Jasmines Maripan because it just cuts through the cold weather. Love Jasmines Maripan. I think the one that hyped this one was Demi Rolling, and I don't agree a lot with her, but this one, definitely a yes for me. Last fragrance, and again, I thought I had this not so long ago, but I do. Jean-Paul Gaultier La Belle. Yes, I know everybody talked about this fragrance for a long time, and now I feel like the hype is dying down, but I am here to tell you that the hype is real. When I'm telling you that sometimes I dream of this fragrance, I am not kidding you. This is a juicy pear, vanilla and vetiver, and has this beautiful, gorgeous sillage. You can't even imagine. One of the most sexy fragrances in the designer world. A lot of men love this fragrance. I find like men usually love sweet fragrances, and this is also very, very sweet and strong. I just love it. And you may say, where is the love? And like, I have only a dent till here. If you see my fragrance collection, this is quite a lot. Quite a lot for me. Especially that this is the fragrance that I cannot wear every day. It's kind of a special occasion for me. Date night, an evening out. Sometimes I also wear it when I want to feel happy. During winter, yeah, I go for this one. It's so beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. La Belle is worth the hype for sure, and one that you should definitely have in your collection as a date night scent. Now, my honorable mention goes to one of my favorite fragrances of all time, my top 10 for life, and it is Mandarin Basilic from Guerlain. Now, this is an honorable mention because to prepare this video, I actually watched all my hauls from the beginning of my channel. Quite cringe-worthy. But anyway, so this one was in the same haul with other fragrances, but I find like this has to be included in them. Not because these other fragrances are decluttered. I still have them in my collection, but I find the need to talk about this one because I know for sure that this will remain forever in my collection. The love I have for this fragrance is unreal. This is a summer staple. If I have to choose between actually the two, if you are asking, would I choose light blue intense or this one, I would go with this one in a heartbeat. This is mandarin and basil, so it's citrusy aromatic, but not too aromatic. I am not like the biggest fan of aromatic fragrances, But here it's just done to perfection. It's juicy, it's fresh, and it's again one of the fragrances that you should spray when the time is right. So when it's very hot during summer, go and test this fragrance. I guarantee you will fall in love with it if you love citrusy fragrances in general. The first time I sprayed this fragrance, I was not impressed. And I was like, why is everybody raving about this fragrance? Then I tested it one day and it was very, very hot. I remember that day very, very clearly, and I was like, oh my God, I need this fragrance. This is so refreshing. It's unbelievable how refreshing this fragrance is. So this is for me a lifer. Not only a fragrance that I love as like a scent profile, but a fragrance that I need desperately during summer. So Mandarin Basilic is my honorable mention. And these were my oldest fragrances in my collection. Please tell me in the comments down below. I am dying to know what is the oldest fragrance in your collection, and would you repurchase it or you are keeping it for sentimental reason? Looking forward to see your comments down below. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao!